Hey guys, as most of you would already have heard, Harrison Ford has been involved in an accident with his aircraft, one of his aircraft, which is very sad, but it turns out that he's going to be okay. It sounds like he's going to be okay, so that's really good. But the greater tragedy, other than this nice aeroplane being damaged and him being hurt, is the way the media are reporting it. And as always, with most things they report, they take a small piece of information and either unintentionally misunderstand it or intentionally misrepresent it and end up running with all sorts of bullshit stories. And then Joe Public watches all that and listens to all that and believes all that and then goes ahead and misquotes that. So it gets worse and worse and worse and further from the reality. So what we always hear in circumstances like this, and you see it all the time, crash landing. Harrison Ford crash landed his aeroplane. They're all over. Anytime these sorts of things happen, there's always some media organisation that goes on about crash landings, and then you hear all the reports from the witnesses that have all their opinions, and then all that gets misrepresented as well. So it seems that he was taking off from an airstrip. Now again, this is all coming second, third, fourth, fifth hand from people that don't know what they're talking about, but it sounds as if he was taking off from an airfield somewhere and had an engine failure and turned back, and this was an out landing is what you can call it, or you could even call it an emergency landing if you wanted to. In an accident incident report by aviation authorities, it would probably be called a forced landing, or a forced landing after an engine failure. It would be called lots of different things maybe, but it certainly wouldn't be called a crashed landing because there's no such thing. So anytime you see any news organisation anywhere reporting on a crash landing, you can assume that they're full of shit. Probably the reason they like it is it sounds spectacular, doesn't it? Crash landing. There was an aircraft in the States this week that overran the runway because of bad weather. There was snow and ice and so on, and they overran the runway, which is what it's called. It's called overrunning the runway because they didn't stop in time and they went off the end of the runway. And of course it got reported and called a crash landing. So anytime you see any media organisation referring to a crash landing, you can assume that they are full of shit, and anything else they say is probably in doubt as well. So anyway, hopefully Harrison Ford will be back making movies soon. His aeroplane's probably written off, but in the meantime, anything the media organisations say, assume that probably 90% of it's crap. Anyway, more videos coming soon.